mobile presentation virtually today. So stay tuned to learn more about partners, our practices, our products, and ultimately performing better in our organizations.
Well, even though I announced myself through the little Hurricane Sandy weather announcement, I still wanted to formally say this is Rebecca Clark from Defense Acquisition University. I'm grateful to be able to have a chance to present at DevLearn, thanks to Judy Brown. I'm not going to be able to be there to represent mobile on the mobile stage, but I still wanted to deliver this presentation virtually. So I hope that you enjoy it and have comments and feedback as well. Would love to be connected. I lead up the mobile initiative at Defense Acquisition University. In parallel, most of my day is actually spent managing a contract of systems and product development and standards and research related to delivering learning to the acquisition workforce. So that kind of helps set the stage for the approach that we take with mobile. As you can see, there's so many different things that are impacted by mobile in an organization. It's not just the 4 topics we're going to talk about today. It has an impact on design, upon IT, upon culture, and upon how we interact on the job each day and with each other. But today we're going to focus on just 4 particular areas, and that is the importance of leveraging great partners, instituting some key practices, and developing mobile products that will ultimately improve work performance. So that's what we're going to focus on today, and I hope we have a great discussion, although it will be asynchronous instead of synchronous. Okay, so today I wanted to start out with a story. It's actually a text message story, and I was inspired to take this approach because Judy Brown had been talking about the Text for Baby initiative over the last couple of years, and then shared the spaced learning concept that was behind it. And so one of my younger brothers is just a few years out of college, and he worked in Manhattan. He was a construction manager and was laid off. And so I can imagine right now in this economy it's hard, and you can get down when you get out of a job, and it's really hard to keep up that job search day in and day out. And so I was talking with him in early September, and we decided that we were going to have an Accountability Friday where he would inform me of what he was working on and if he completed his actions, and I would inform him what I was working on and completed actions. And so it's not with everything, just with a few key areas related to jobs. So on September 12th, I said, "How are you? How's the job search?" "Things are okay. I've been doing a lot of drawing, so I'm behind on a few things." Now, the drawing he was doing was drawing that all of us have encouraged him to keep doing because he's really into architecture. That's his thing. And so even though construction management was his degree, architecture is what he longed to do. So the next week, September 26th, when I followed up, his status was what it says there. Well, my status isn't really anything at the moment. I've shirked on the rugby work, so I need to get to that again. I had given him a task to do some research related to rugby. He loves rugby as well, hoping that that would be an extra little motivation. So following up on October 5th, how's your progress? Good. He was motivated to do some of the rugby work, and he actually sent his resume and portfolio to apply for an architectural drafting job. So that was good progress. And then I tell him that yes, that project I'd given was to give him efficiency in research because it had been a firm fixed price that I was going to give him. So on October 12th, I do my Friday check-in, and he says it's going okay. And if you noticed, he's starting to do tons of drawing and modeling now. And when I asked if it's for fun or for his job, he said it's for fun, but now he's going to put it in his portfolio. October 19th, this is where on our Accountability Friday, he says, I've had a couple good days. So he saw Chris, which is one of the brothers. He's helping with networking. He followed up on leads. He's pursuing some tutorials and starts taking steps toward certification exams. And then he talks about how he's going to go have lunch with someone to talk about a part-time job, blog writing and with SEO. So I respond, cool, all the little actions add up. And he says, yes, he forgets sometimes how willing others are to help. So you can see already the messages are going from these little text messages to, no kidding, he's starting to take all kinds of steps. So just this past week, I purposely left the green blank space there because this is the first time he instigated the follow-up on Accountability Friday. All other times I had instigated it, even though we were both supposed to take on that role. So he says, hey, Becca, how's your week been? I've had a good one, productive with more job leads, an interview, and I even passed the AutoCAD certification test. And so I'm thinking this is great because he's finally beat me to it, right? Because that was one of my goals, for him to also follow up with me. So he had been thinking the same way. He wanted to have his chance to get to me first. Yay. I was just thinking that I hadn't heard from you yet, so this is my chance. So I talked to him about, hey, I'm working on my own certifications, which I also had become inspired to work on for the DAU certifications. And then he shares this important passage. Yeah. A few weeks ago, I saw it on the LinkedIn profile of this guy that invited me to apply to his company, and I thought, oh yeah, I heard of these tests. And I checked it out online, made some calls, and barely passed my first one. Made some good contacts too, and while I was taking the test, I got a call back for an interview with an architectural firm. So good timing, eh? Wow, so LinkedIn exposed you to what the expectations are for those who have made it in the field. And he's like, yep. The great thing about this passage, I think, is a few things. He didn't like LinkedIn before. Now he's using it, and now he's looking at people's profiles and seeing what he should be doing to make it in his field. And it inspired him to go learn more about the test, study for it, and take it. And yes, he's barely passed the first one, but once you've done that, you're on a roll. And the great thing is this had happened October 26th. Last night, on October 29th, he emailed and said he had actually gotten an architectural drafting job. So it's been amazing to see this transformation over the last couple months. It wasn't all from the text messages, but I'd like to think that part of these Accountability Fridays were effective in helping him perform what he needed to do to get to his end goal, which was to get an architectural drafting job. Great stuff.